I always remember the tagline, the Universal Studios, the entertainment capital of LA. That was the tagline, and today I was able to see the tagline, as well as touch the plaque, that says the Universal Studios, and then see this iconic round, what we call globe, with Universal Studios on it. This is like every time the movies play, we see this round going around and tag Universal, right? Universal Pictures, Universal. And today was fantastic because you could see the studio backset tour, which is called the back. This is the Universal Studios in Hollywood, in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is the entertainment capital of the world, the cinema capital of the world in one way that you can see. And today I would describe it as one of the best days of my life because almost decades, I grew up on Universal films here, right? We all grew up on Universal films. Whenever we see the tag Universal on the film line, right, like it's a magic that then the film follows, and we count not just tens but hundreds of movies or maybe thousands of movies that we have seen on Universal. And this is like it starts with the guest relations and the VIP experience, and this is the gateway, the famous gateway that we recognize. I would have seen this gateway thousands of times on YouTube or on TV, and then then this iconic figure of the cinematographer and then holding the cinematography stick. So still inside the Universal Studios, so it's time to go for and then the view of the Los Angeles from the Universal Studio. So Los Angeles is built around some small hills around, and so you have these popular locations like Beverly Hills, and where the rich and the celebrities live, and expensive lifestyles. There was a TV series made, I think, for 10 years between 1990 and 2000 on the Beverly Hills, and so now it's the time to go to the Universal Studios tour.
There's currently a 45-minute wait for the studio tour.
So I believe it's a 45 minutes. So let's got to see what's in store in the.
To the restroom or get in line. It's at the bottom of the escalator on your right-hand side.
There is a big Disney-style castle in this Universal Studio. I'm able to see it, though I didn't go inside it through. Maybe in the tour they will take us inside or something. I don't know. The tour is for about an hour. So this is included in the general entry to the Universal Studios. Universal Studios is located in Los Angeles. And obviously we are all fan of Universal because many movies since our childhood we have seen with the Universal logo on it, and so this is the entry to the studio tour. And wait time is 40 minutes. And what do we do? The holiday season, it's like this tour. This is Universal Studios, and this seems to be the kind of the workshop for the vehicles and so on. It's super exciting to see the backstage tour as well in this.
The Universal Studios Tour News. Universal Studios Hollywood. Visitors at the world's largest movie studio are terrorized. Movie buffs return, thousands strong to see what's new in movies on TV. Take the Universal Studios tour. Every day it's making news, and you can be part of it.
Luckily, I found this old VHS tape that has a pretty good instructional film that makes it really easy to understand. Let's take a look.
Riding on a tram is fun, as long as you follow a few simple, important guideline rules. Beware of sudden tram movements. This happens when the tram moves suddenly. Also, be aware of loud noises. You may also be around special effects like fire and water. Due to the natural wetness of water, some tram passengers may get wet. Isn't it fun to get wet? Remain seated in the seated position while the tram is moving, or you may become fallen. Small children and other offsprings should be seated in the center.
We take off. How we doing? Got glasses? Awesome sauce. You don't have to wear them yet. Just keep a hold of them. I'll tell you when you need them. Just have them on standby. It's been a busy time for filming. A lot of television filming out on the lot this past year. Lopez versus Lopez, Ted Season 2, The Voice Season 26. Let's head into the studio. Big wave to the theme park, but my theme park, we're gonna head on into the movies. When we come back, we'll be famous. We will. This is from my favorite movie musical, Mamma Mia. Ooh, 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 ooh. We're gonna dance. We're gonna jive. And we're about to have the time of our lives on a studio tour. We're all dancing queens. Well, I can't do this alone. We got Jesse behind the wheel. He's too fast, too furious, this one. And we have a very special co-host. You might know him as the host of this Tonight
We
Show.
are in
and that's my jam
the
on
Universal
NBC.
Studio
He's the one, the
tour on a
only
tram,
Jimmy
and
Fallon.
this is there is a live commentary that goes on. It's almost for an hour, and also on the side we see the Los Angeles, the valley, the San Fernando Valley, and you know this part, this area of Los Angeles
Jesse.
is I think the rich and the famous also live like the Beverly Hills.
I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
Such
Safety
a
rules
jokester,
have been
Jimmy.
recited on,
But safety
and
is our number one priority.
the housekeeping and the safety rules are being
First
recited.
and foremost, if you have an emergency of any kind, say a
So
medical
we need to
emergency,
pull the red card in
audio
case
or
of an
visual
emergency.
issues, you drop something of value off the side of the tram or need any assistance, reach up and grab that red cord running along the center
This is
seam of the
Los
tram,
Angeles,
and I
below
will
that
be
we
back to
see.
assist you as soon as it is safe to do so.
We are going downhill.
Otherwise, please
Mamma
remain
Mia,
seated at all times,
Dogman,
keeping all
sorry.
arms and legs inside the tram.
1977. The years they are going showing
We
the
have no
years.
smoking of any
1980.
kind, but feel free to eat or
82,
drink.
82,
And
yeah.
make sure to be prepared. There are
Universal,
any
yeah.
sudden shaky movements, loud noises, pyrotechnics, and water effects.
Yeah,
You're
I
gonna
believe
wanna
there will be a lot of
emphasize
effects
those
as
great
well.
Photo opportunities, but just keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. Use selfie sticks on board the tram. Well, we have a long history of filming here on the
91,
lot.
93 Jurassic Park, yeah, 93
Over
Schindler's List.
109
I've seen it.
years, so
Tom
over
Hanks,
a
Apollo
century.
13, fantastic
That's our
movie.
founder,
Nutty
Carl
Professor, yeah.
Henry, on
All these
opening
movies
day,
are like
March 15,
nostalgic, yeah.
1915.
Meet the
We've filmed
Parents,
here
yeah.
ever since.
When I was in college.
We're the studio that brought you
Gladiator,
Back to
the
Future,
iconic movie.
Jurassic Park,
Grinch,
the Fast and
Hannibal,
Furious franchise.
Beautiful Mind.
And right now we're heading
Oh man,
into
all
our
these
front
Universal,
lot.
we are
And
grown up
this is
with
where a lot of our
Universal, so
sound stages are. And we film a lot of interior scenes inside these sound stages. Over to your left, you'll see stage
you find
12.
2005,
Taylor Swift filmed the music
2007,
video
Mamma
Me
Mia
in
2008,
there. You can't spell
Wanted,
awesome
Milk.
without me. Thanks, Tay-Tay. She was in there with Brandon
2012,
Urie
Les
from
Miserables,
Panic at the Disco.
oh man,
And a lot of famous movies filmed in there as well. Frankenstein,
Jurassic World, 2023, Oppenheimer.
Dracula, Now we are right in the thick of it. So take a look to your left, stage 9. We got an open soundstage door. Crew members in there. Look at all
There is
that.
a shooting going on, yeah.
What they built in there.
Some
Trees
forest
that are
type of-
very fake, but look very real. A cave that was all set up for Ted, season 2. Based on the movies Ted and Ted 2 with Seth MacFarlane
This
and
is a
Mark
set that we had
Wahlberg.
just
They
seen.
filmed
It's
here
showing
for
on the
season
TV
1.
as well in the
Big
tram.
hit. And now they're filming season 2. On your screens, that is what an interior of a soundstage looks like before they bring in all the sets and the camera equipment and the cast and crew. It's kind of like an open, empty warehouse. We can do any kind of set the production needs in there. And you'll
This
see a
is
lot
our
of production
tram
trucks
and-
and a lot of trailers, like to your left. These trailers are dressing rooms for actors, also use out wardrobe and costumes. Currently, these trailers are set up for Hacks Season 4. That show stars Gene Smart as Las Vegas comedian Deborah
Yeah, I
Vance.
think the
Super fun
sets
show. You can
are,
stream it on
the
Max.
trailers are having
Currently
the sets,
filming
so-
season 4 right here.
Yeah, she's a season
And
4.
over to your left, you'll see stage 14.
Showtime backstage. Yeah,
That
stage
soundstage is
14.
used a lot. That is where we built part of the store. Cloud9 Superstore for Superstore.
I know it's hot in here, but let's have some patience.
Stage
for one
4,
another.
then see we had a stage 15. Oh man, air products.
is where it is. It's going to get punched.
It's also where all 3 seasons of the production designers built the Inton Bel Air Academy inside stage 14. And they're coming back for
Stage
season
16.
4.
Ah, okay.
Here's a
Each
few
of
the
these
stars
is
Bel Air,
organized as
Jabari
stages.
Banks, and Ollie Charlatan.
Because I love operas, ballets, and Latin music and salsa. Of course, in operas and ballets, you have on the stage sets. Of course, these are for films. There's films are made. But opera is a live thing, right? In an opera theater, you
your
have
most memorable moments?
stages similar to that. You have the stages.
So many to choose from. You know, I love the foyer set where Will first enters, and at that moment, his life. What about you? Well, our Academy gym set is here too, and I remember you having to sit in that cold ice bath for hours. Yeah, and that was really fun. I still can't feel my toes. No, but seriously, my favorite part of this lot is the talented crew who put it all together, from hair, wardrobe, makeup, set design, props,
On the hills, we also see the sets and the Universal Studios. Universal Studios is very huge, and it's more than 100 years old in its total history.
Now we have 36 sound stages on the plot, a lot of editing rooms for sound design and post-production, and quite a few offices. And coming up over to your left, my good friend Ted from Boston, that lovely foul-mouthed teddy bear. Oh, love him so much. Ted is keeping guard of these offices.
So obviously a lot of logistic operations happens because that's why we see a lot of trailers. Trailers bringing in sets, props, and so many things that make a movie, a blockbuster movie from Hollywood. So this is Hollywood exactly. Yeah.
They have a hit in theaters right now. It's called Wicked. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Yes, based on the Broadway musical Wicked. Here is the director of Wicked, John M. Chu.
Hey, Studio Tour. You're seeing a lot of behind-the-scenes movie-making magic today, showing you up close how filmmakers, like me, bring our dreams to the big screen. Wicked continues at Universal Studios Hollywood. Props, and costumes from the film, and fun bites and drinks from Shiz and Emerald City. But first, here's a look at Wicked.
Come with me to meet the wizard. I couldn't tell something. This is your moment. I'm come.
If you think that's something to see, maybe see this. You're good.
Very good.
Wicked, rated PG.
You can check out Wicked at our AMC theaters, currently on City Walk. That is part 1. Wicked Part 2, For Good, is coming out next November. Now over to your left, we have a few more sound stages coming up. This is set up for the show Lopez vs. Lopez. It's a sitcom, films in front of a live studio audience. They've been filming in stage 25, filming season 3. Now we have a new show that came out just a few months ago. It's called St. Dennis Medical. Stars David Allen Greer, Wendy McClendon-Covey, Allison Tolman, and that's been filming right next door in stage 26. And it takes place in an Oregon hospital. So the set is mostly inside of a hospital. So production designers built the interior of the offices, emergency room, right here inside this soundstage, but built the emergency room entrance, the ambulance bay, out here on the backlot. And that is where we are going to
On the
right
hilltop,
now.
we see the
Heading out to
Universal.
the backlot.
Yeah, this is the back
This
part.
next area is called our Metro sets, short for Metropolitan sets. It's kind of like we built a city right here on the lot. Many productions have filmed out here. Academy Award winning movies like The Sting. Bruce Almighty is filmed here as well. Now over to your right, you get a great glimpse of the city, and we're coming up upon our Brownstone Street. And this is where a lot of St. Dennis Medical filmed, a lot of their exterior scenes. Over to your right, this brick building hugging this area, you'll see the emergency room entrance ambulance bay. Across the street, you'll see a row of stairs. This is where we filmed Bruce Almighty.
Place the door!
I'm in the shower.
It's like that outside good.
Same steps as where we filmed parts of Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Nice holiday movie. Kevin McAllister, played by Macaulay Culkin, went right in the second Home Alone movie. This area is also where Musical Annie from Columbia Pictures. But let's head out around the corner to a very famous location, Courthouse Square from Back to the Future. Marty McFly, Doc Brown, the Time Machine. Now the courthouse, the infamous courthouse from the movies, are still here. It looks like this in the movie, pillars, clock tower, and it exists over to your left. Looks a little different right now because production designers built a facade, just the front.
So all these are the movie sets, and yeah, they have been built
future productions.
for.
Currently, it's set up as a high school for Ted, seasons 1 and 2. Said John Hancock High School for a while, made this whole area look like Framingham, Massachusetts for Ted. This is also where we filmed Psycho 2 with Anthony Perkins. Gregory Peck was here to Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, to Kill a Mockingbird, Gregory
And
Peck.
Bruce
Yeah.
didn't have to go too far to film. Now this area will always be Hill Valley in our hearts, in our minds. It's more of a small town area, mom and pop type stores. But we have the city right around the corner.
These are all the
We have our
sets.
financial district, a lot of theater marquees set up. Things are missing that make it look like an actual city. Stop signs, maybe payphones are set up. A lot of signs. Payphones, I know. It was Ted. So what are these things? But now, very popular, very popular. So yeah, Ted takes place in the 1990s. It's a prequel to the movies. Here's a sneak peek at Ted.
Hi everyone, Seth MacFarlane here, and I'm excited to share with you a behind-the-scenes look at my Peacock original event series, TED. It's a prequel series set in 1993, and that means our skilled craftspeople had to build a high school, a house, and even recreate downtown Boston as it looked back in the day, using exterior sets and facades that you're about to see on the tour. But I should warn you, TED is intended for mature audiences only. So grown-ups, tell the kids to go in the other room before you watch. Oh, come on!
It's a pretty funny show, especially if you fit right in. Now,
The tram coming the other way, the other tram.
Blues
Yeah.
Brothers.
There's a tour for about an hour inside the Universal Studios Hollywood. This is the Hollywood, yeah, so that we are
for a
saying.
couple hours and film. And we can do that. We can film all over the world, mostly. But for a big stunt sequence or a car chase or to light one of these sets on fire, the best place to do it is here on the lot, where we have complete control over our surroundings and don't really interrupt work-life balance like in an actual city. So check out this scene from Blues Brothers. This scene filmed right here.
When the Pinto fell and you saw it land and make this big hole in the street, that was on the back lot. We dropped it from a crane. You dig like that in Chicago, not a good idea.
When people ask me all of the movies I've ever done, what's the most satisfying or the most fun, I've got to say Blues Brothers. We got to sing, we got to dance, got to drive and train with the best stunt people in the world, and got to be an actor and a writer. So it was a good piece of work.
Such a fun movie, Blues Brothers. Made our city set look like Chicago. Now we're going to revisit the city in a little bit, but first we're going to take you on an adventure inside this tunnel to a beautiful place called Skull Island.
That made me want to make direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to.
We are just entering a tunnel.
I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you under the adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
And this is just a reminder, please remain seated at all times, and please turn off all flash photography.
We really put a lot of thought into the character and personality of Kong, and he's so much more than a monster. In fact, he's not a monster. He is an incredibly majestic, ancient creature. He's a force of nature. He's old, he's wise, he's proud, he's fierce, and obviously he has a heart. The most important feature with Kong are his eyes. Kong's eyes are wonderfully expressive. They're full of emotion. His eyes are like a window into his personality and his heart. He's had an enormous number of encounters with his clothes the T-Rexes and the various dinosaurs on Skull Island. So he's been beaten up, scarred, chewed up, spat out by these dinosaurs at various times, and he wears the scars of a lot of ancient battles.
Let's go for a ride. Dearest people of the tram, please remain seated and hold on to your loved ones. Welcome to Skull Island. Glasses on.
Okay, glasses on.
Wow, it's awesome. Oh, this is like a giant IMAX movie. It's like the pirates ride inside.
You just survived one of the largest, most intense 3D experiences on the planet. Take off those 3D glasses, but just keep a hold of them. There's still ahead. What a ride, right? Well, that attraction was brought to you by Peter Jackson himself, who is the director of King Kong, as well as the team at Weta FX. Weta FX specializes in CGI, computer-generated imagery. They've worked with Peter Jackson a lot on Lord of the Rings trilogy, Hobbit trilogy, of course King Kong, and they've won 7 Academy Awards for visual effects. The most recent one for Weta is from Avatar: The Way of Water, from director James Cameron. Now we're going to head back into the city, see it from a little bit of a different angle. You can definitely check out this brick and how unrealistic it looks at first glance, or if you stare at it, it's more of a thick siding. And then got our city sets to your left, but also over to your right, you'll see a wall, just a big flat wall. Definitely a painting, right? Totally. We're close enough to definitely tell it's a painting. But from far enough away, we really can't tell the difference. It'll blend right in, look like these other buildings, like a row of apartments or offices. There's special highlights and shading on this wall, make it really pop out. And the camera doesn't pick up the depth perception that our human eye does, so we can really get away with, say, filming from way over there onto this wall, and it blends right in with the rest of these sets. Saves a whole lot of space on the lot. Space is time is money. Want to save all those things while making movies and television. Walk down these city steps, Elvis, Robert Redford, Arnold Schwarzenegger. A lot of music videos have filmed out here as well. Jennifer Lopez was out here filming Can't Get Enough. Pink was walking down these streets at night for her music video Walk Me Home. And a whole television show based on musicians is The Voice. And The Voice has been filming here for 20 seasons. Their stages are stages 30 and 31 to your left. You'll see the big red door, big V on it. Finished up season 2 finale. Had audience members, so pretty exciting. They're still working on season 27. Continuing on to your left, we have a few more sound stages, 32 and 33. The new show starring Reba McEntire. And we have a lake, small it. We call this our Hollywood Ocean. Got some ducks out there right now. And clearly it's not as big as an ocean, but we can make it look like an ocean depending on the camera angle. We filmed out there, actors swimming, boat scenes. That is the Black Lagoon, from the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Steven Spielberg and James Stewart Avenue, they are named after these film directors.
And where there are creatures, like the Gill Man, there are monsters. And Universal Studios is well known for its classic monster movies of the 1930s and 40s, Invisible Man. And we're going to head on over to the filming locations of these movies right now. Now, as we do, we're about halfway through our tour at the moment. So just a reminder, please remain seated at all times. The studio is private property. And if any time during the tour you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull that red cord and remain seated. But this next area, a little different than the city. We call it Little Europe. Once we're inside, looks very small, village-like. Got windy cobblestone streets. We got a lot of stone arts like stone. Most of these plaster, faux rubber, painted to look like stone. Perfect for these modern, terrifying the villagers. This same set is also the Afterlife and the hit show The Good Place. Had a lot of frozen yogurt shops set up. Oh, I love frozen yogurt. Same set, also Genovia and Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement. Oh, you know it. Princess Mia had her princess parade right here on this set. And another Disney movie that filmed here, Cinderella, with Brandy and Whitney Houston. It's possible, so much royalty right here. But over to your left, you have the railway station sign still here, and a big open courtyard area to your right. A lot of the shops of The Good Place were set up here, and they filmed here for all 4 seasons.
You are dead. Location, the Afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. Place?
Maybe it's not all that bad. What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
The Good Place filmed on this set for all 4 seasons, but back in the 1930s and 40s, that entire area swarming with these classic monsters.
When we think of Universal, we think of monsters.
Dracula,
Frankenstein,
Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein,
The Mummy,
The Hunchback of Notre Dame,
The Invisible Man,
Phantom of the Opera.
classic films. They're just brilliant.
These logistics trucks bring in a lot of sets, props. Props are the small things used in, films, opera, and other places.
I was just mesmerized.
So yeah, to enhance the scene, basically it's called a scene, and the scene consists of many elements which are like sets. The scene is seen even in opera, because films operas are the precursor to films, right? So in opera you have you have various sets.
Claude Rains played the Invisible Man. Boris Karloff played a few monsters, the Mummy as well as Frankenstein's monster. Kind of like the superheroes of today. You know the actor who plays Iron Man, you know all the actors who play Spider-Man. It's kind of similar back then, but with these monsters.
What is it now? The monster. He's in the woods. Get out the bloodhounds. Raise all the men you can, lock the women indoors, and wait for me. I'm ready! Go! Your torches and go!
Really put Universal Studios on the map as a major motion picture studio back 90 to 100 years ago. Some go back to the silent film era, like Hunchback of Notre Dame and Phantom of the Opera. But these monster movies also help pave the way for future horror films, creature films, and thrillers of the next generation. There's some classic monsters like the Invisible Man. Hunchback of Notre Dame, Phantom of the Opera, Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Mummy, the Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, we see a lot of these props and the trailers and the wagons and what do you call all sorts of things to help build the set. So the films say actually this is a set, this is a room 50 or so each of these I believe once after being almost halfway through the tour is like they have these buildings inside which the movie scenes takes place. They build the sets, and of course these are the logistic support for these for building these sets, the trailers, the camper vans, the movie vans, and all the other stuff, right? And because there is also a traffic jam, so we are stuck up in the traffic jam, but essentially it looks like this. All these are like to build up the sets and the props and help the videography. They could be camper vans, they could be logistic vans, they could be logistic trucks and trailers and all this stuff that help to build the sets, the props and all the stuff. And these have different, probably the way that would go on is book one or many of these for a movie or a series or something like that.
A big part of cinematic history.
And then they were
really
saying
came alive in the 1930s
and then produce the desired film in that in the time slot, and then pay and go. That's how it's like.
Been this year, yes. A lot with Blumhouse Productions is Jordan Peele, great writer-director. He's directed 3 movies so far. Get Out, which won him an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. He then went on to write and direct Us, which filmed a little bit inside our sound stages on the front lot, and then Nope, his 3rd movie, which also filmed a little bit inside our sound stages, and we have the sets for Nope a little bit further on in the tour. But to get us ready for that, here is Keke Palmer, one of the stars of Nope, and the trailer.
What's up, Studio Tour? I'm Keke Palmer from Jordan Peele's film, Nope. What's a bad miracle? Well, you'll have to see our movie to answer that one. Until then, I hope you enjoy your visit to Jupiter's Clay.
Did you see a UFO in that cloud?
Yeah. No.
I ain't never seen this.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Hell no.
You can currently stream Nope on Peacock. A little scary for the little ones, just a heads up on that, but a very well done movie. And we'll see the sets a little later on in the tour. So Jordan Peele, great director, worked with Universal for quite a bit. Great directors. Like Christopher Nolan just won Best Director at the Academy Awards for Oppenheimer. And we've also worked a lot with Steven Spielberg. I mean, Steven Spielberg really started his entire...
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. This was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
Classic Spielberg. He's talking about the Gray Line buses. They used to bring them onto the studio lot. The early days of the studio tour with trams, red and white candy striped glamour trams. Some are still decorated that way for our 60th anniversary. But young Steven Spielberg would come, really get inspired by the movies that were made here. And now he's making movies here all the time. Now he got his start, directed a few television movies like Duel, then went on to direct the Sugarland Express, starring Goldie Hawn, and then this famous one, Jaws. Jaws had a very challenging shoot. off the coast of Martha's Vineyard on the East Coast. But we built our own Amity Island out here in the lawn. We're going to take a little visit, take a little look around. This is my happy place, everybody. Nothing bad ever happens here. Just please remain seated while we make our way across the dock. It's beautiful, right?
They hung a, what is it, shark or whale?
Oh, I love it. What's that? To your right, that's a fin. That's a shark fin. Is someone out there?
No, that's my
You okay?
Oh, it's a real shark. No.
You know what? I'm sure they're fine. Yeah, we're just going to continue on with our tour. Everything is A-okay. Don't worry about it. Hold on, why is the pier moving? Uh-oh. We're going to need a bigger tram. This tour just got a bit terrifying. Everyone okay? You sure? You just met a replica of the mechanical shark used in Steven Spielberg's Jaws. There goes that mechanical shark. Only shark able to do the backstroke. Pretty impressive. Now the mechanical sharks for the movie, they built 3 of them for production, and each one had its own issue, causing the production, delaying it for 3 months, tripling the film's budget. One of the mechanical sharks sank to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean the first day of shooting, so this film was almost a complete disaster. But editor Verna Fields really saved the day. She was able to piece together all the salvageable footage of the mechanical sharks when they did work. She went on to win Best Editor at the Academy Awards, turning into the first ever big summer blockbuster. So a huge end. But they filmed Jaws out in the ocean, in the elements with the weather. And right now we're going to have a weather demonstration right here in our old Mexico sets. A lot of the times we have to create our own weather, like rain, whenever we need it for filming, and we're going to show you how we do that right now. So take a look to your left. Did a scene with Leonardo DiCaprio, put a lot of dirt down this concrete road, made it look like the dusty old West was back in action. The horror movie Maxine, starring Mia Goth. They had her running around this set, kind of took over the whole studio for Maxine for at least a few days. But these classic cowboys really made this whole Western set come to life. The Duke, John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Clint Eastwood, Kirk Douglas.
All these are our all-time favorites. Clint Eastwood.